Thank you, Sony. It is Trial Tuesday once again. Today we're talking about running from the law. And recently we've had some high-speed chase scenarios right here in the Low Country. And time after time, those suspects end up injuring innocent bystanders and getting themselves into even more trouble. Joining me this morning, a man who never runs from anything or anyone, attorney David Aylor, to discuss why people run from the law and the consequences for everyone involved. Counselor, welcome back to the program. This is really one of the worst scenarios for a police officer because it puts so many more people in danger.
Absolutely, and there's a fine line as to when you continue that chase and then actually stop it due to that fact of getting other people that are in the public on the roads or maybe pedestrians in danger of the high-speed chase.
So let's say you have a taillight or something like that out. A police officer comes behind you, puts those blue lights on. You're expected to pull over to the road right away.
As quickly as you can within reason. Obviously, you don't want to put yourself or the officer in any kind of danger. So if you have to go a little bit farther to find a place to pull off, that's fine. Obviously, the issue in these type of situations is that they're just not stopping at all, and then they're continuing to gain speed. Sometimes they're slow speed, but most often they're high-speed chases with the ultimate goal, of course, for them to get away or maybe get far enough from out of sight of the officer to be able to ditch out any contraband, guns, drugs, that sort of thing out of the vehicle.
It's important to note that police vehicles are especially equipped to keep up with and handle these roadways, even more so than the regular vehicle on the market. These guys are trained for this.
Absolutely. Not only are they trained from their driving, also the engines that they're going to have in their vehicles are going to be different than someone's Honda or Toyota, that sort of thing. And then specifically because of this, not only chasing people but also getting to scenes quickly, that sort of thing. So they're going to be up for the challenge. However, they also have certain guidelines they have to follow in order not to endanger the public any worse.
Well, let's talk about those guidelines a little bit, because we've seen the world's scariest police chases time and time again when it ends poorly. Really, the best way to avoid doing that is just to pull over, because if you don't, you're going to get that additional charge anyway of not stopping for the blue light.
Right. Here in South Carolina, it's called failure to stop for a blue light. You're going to look at some serious time related to that, and it's all going to depend on, a lot of times, how far you actually go and then what are the ultimate results. Clearly, if you injure other cars or pedestrians or a business or maybe even the people in your vehicle. We had one recently where there was 7 people, including the driver, injured, and they were going up to 95 miles an hour rather, in an Astrovan. I was not aware that an Astrovan could go that fast.
Didn't know that.
However, obviously, if it's pushed to that limit, it can. In that situation, you're going to have officers right behind you, and so you really have to watch out for that. Something that's also been seen a lot here lately in the Low Country is motorcycles, almost just sort of teasing, if you will, the officers. There was one recently on 526 that got up to 140 miles an hour. That's clearly putting himself and anyone else in the roads in a lot of danger.
Absolutely, it is. And again, you're bringing more trouble on yourself because you're going to face those additional charges.
Right. And a lot of times, sometimes it's as simple as them running for reasons of their license being suspended or not having insurance. Other times it's more serious because they will, in fact, find drugs and guns, that sort of thing, in the vehicle, or people that have actually open warrants that are just out driving around.
Right. But I guess in this case, if it is one of those circumstances where it's a taillight out or they got you speeding or you have a suspended license, the fine that you're going to pay is nowhere in comparison to what's going to happen if you try and run.
Well, absolutely. I mean, most often, it's not a situation where you're going to be, put in jail, and even if you are, you may be arrested and then quickly bonded out because of that. You put in the situation where someone's actually running from the law, you're putting yourself in a whole different situation as far as potential felonies that could come from it, and then go way beyond any kind of fine and just a little jail time.
Yeah, you work closely with judges, police officers all the time, and this infuriates them. When people try and run and put other people at risk, that's when they really get upset.
Absolutely, and the key to that is because ultimately you're not just putting yourself at risk or even the officer, it's all those around you. There's people coming from all different angles. A lot of times when these chases go down, they're in very congested areas, and you see people get hurt and sometimes killed that were clearly just driving to work or driving to go get something to eat. That sort of thing is extremely dangerous. So yeah, when they get in front of a judge, I've seen it many times, it's not something a judge takes lightly.
So just don't do it. Attorney David Aylor, thank you so much for your time, sir. Do appreciate it as always.
Thanks for having me.
All right, back with more Low Country Live after this.